These were the men who led the volunteer firefighters in the difficult, the dangerous task of battling the fire at Saint Vincent 50 years ago. They were the first responders to our alarm, directed the efforts that brought the fire under control, which saved Saint Vincent, and they have stayed with us. Chief Earl Dalton, Chief Ed Hutchinson. I would like to now ask Chief Earl Dalton to please come forward. Deeply devoted to family, community, and country, Chief Earl Dalton of the Latrobe Volunteer Fire Department has served his nation and his neighbors in war and in peace from the time that he was a young man. A member of what has been called the greatest generation, Chief Dalton cared for and saved the lives of wounded American soldiers in Europe during World War II, and for 60 years courageously risked his own life and safety to protect the lives and the property of his neighbors in Westmoreland County. Born and raised in Latrobe, Chief Dalton graduated from Latrobe High and went to work with his father and brother in the family's business. His father, Francis, his brother, Clyde, were members of the Latrobe Volunteer Fire Department, and he followed their example by becoming a volunteer fireman as soon as he reached the age of 18. Shortly afterwards, World War II broke out, and Chief Dalton, like thousands of other young people in America, left home to serve in the armed forces of his country. He joined the United States Army and tended the wounded on the battlefields of Europe, and also bravely served his nation in the Korean War. His sister Lois, an Army nurse, cared for the wounded in the base hospitals. His brother Clyde served as an infantryman in the European theater, and his brother Francis served aboard the USS Nimitz in the Pacific. Serving our country and community, Chief Dalton once said, has always been a Dalton trait. It's infectious. My brothers and sisters and I knew what had to be done, and we did it, along with millions of other young men and women throughout the United States. When he returned from the war, Earl rejoined the Latrobe Volunteer Fire Department and served as a volunteer fireman in Latrobe for 6 decades. He was elected chief in the early 1960s and held this important position of leadership until retirement. On the morning of the Saint Vincent fire, Chief Dalton was the first volunteer fireman to reach the campus. He spent the next 12 hours courageously fighting the fire and directing the battle to save Saint Vincent from total destruction. Without his courage and leadership, much that was saved would have been lost. And in the days after the fire, he comforted and encouraged the St. Vincent community with the words, "Take care, don't worry, a bigger and better St. Vincent is in the making." For his lifelong dedication and service to his nation, community, and family, for his bold and successful leadership of the Latrobe Volunteer Fire Department over many years, and for his invaluable service to St. Vincent on the disastrous day of the Great Fire of January 28, 1963, St. Vincent College awards the Presidential Medal of Honor to Chief Earl G. Dalton this 28th day of January, 2013. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Look at the camera. Thank you, Earl. I would now like to ask Chief Ed Hutchinson to please come forward. Cited by the United States Congress as a man who has given immeasurably to the city of Greensburg, to Pennsylvania, to our nation, Chief Ed Hutchinson has devoted his life to serving others. Following the footsteps of his grandfather, father, uncle, Chief Hutchinson joined the Greensburg Volunteer Fire Department at the age of 18. Service in the Greensburg Fire Department became a four-generation Hutchinson family tradition when Chief's two sons, Keith and Kevin, signed on as firemen. Another member of the greatest generation, Chief Hutchinson's service in the fire department was interrupted only once when he left Greensburg to serve as a Marine during World War II. He spent 3 of his 4 years as Marine Gunnery Sergeant.
Gunnery
Sergeant.
Watch it, boy. Watch it.
3 of the 4 years
Never gotta
as
have a
Marine
little bit of
Gunnery Sergeant on combat duty in the Pacific, where he won 4 battle stars for action in Guam, Guadalcanal, New Georgia, Okinawa. Returning to Greensburg and its fire department after the war, Ed Hutchinson was elected fire chief in 1953 and has served in that capacity ever since. This month, he celebrates his 60th anniversary as chief. Under Chief Hutchinson's leadership, the Greensburg Volunteer Fire Department has become a model for other volunteer departments. He has led the department in developing a dive team, swift water rescue team, a bloodhound team to help in the search for missing persons and fugitives, and air rescue team. And under his leadership, the department has responded to natural disasters nationwide, sending men and supplies to South Carolina and Alabama for hurricane relief and helping rescue miners after the Kukik mine disaster of 2001. Chief Hutchinson has led the department in community service. He has helped establish health and fitness centers for firefighters, city employees, and citizens. He has developed burn prevention classes for local elementary and middle schools. He has served on the local hospital board, the boards of the Greensburg YMCA, the Aerobic Center, Camp Cadet. He has helped start the mutual aid ambulance service in Westmoreland County. He established the first 911 emergency dispatching system in the county. He helped build athletic facilities at Greensburg-Salem High School. He's constructed pavilions and a soccer field at Greensburg's Mount Odin Park. And he helped establish the 5-Star Trail, an extensive walking and biking trail stretching from Greensburg to Youngwood. But on the morning of the Saint Vincent fire, Chief Hutchinson was one of the first firefighters on the scene, where, working closely with his friend, Chief Earl Dalton, he successfully and courageously led the Greensburg Volunteer Fire Department in a joint effort to contain and extinguish the blaze before it totally destroyed the buildings that it threatened. Without his leadership and effort, our losses would have been much greater than they were. For his lifelong dedication, his selfless service to nation, community, and family, for his bold and successful leadership of the Greensburg Volunteer Fire Department for 60 years, and for his invaluable service to Saint Vincent on the disastrous day of the Great Fire of January 28, 1963, Saint Vincent College awards the Presidential Medal of Honor to Chief John Edward Hutchinson this 28th day of January, 2013.
Whew, you're long-winded.